Hey everybody, it's Thursday night, and that means it's time for Shop Talk. So, Josh Olive with Haven Comics here. We're going to be talking comics tonight, and if you want to hear some really great stuff, stick around after we play this cool intro video. You're still here. That's awesome. Well, you kind of thought you might go away. We're glad that you didn't. As I said, I'm Josh Olive with Haven Comics, the absolute best comic book store at our address in Madison. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the band Better Than Ezra. They're not here tonight. Don't worry about that. But we do have a co-host tonight who is better than Alan, and that's Bug. How you doing, Bug?
I'm doing good. I was gonna give y'all a joke about construction workers, but I'm still kind of working on it, so I'll have to get back to you on that one.
That's pretty good.
Get out of my chair.
That's pretty good. Watch out, Alan. She's coming for your job.
I know. She said she wanted to start the show with a dad joke. She is she doesn't have school tomorrow. So she's going to be here with us tonight. So I'm sure she'll be floating back and forth.
That was a pretty good joke as far as dad jokes go. I have to give her that one.
That was a pretty good one. I do have to give her credit on that one.
Delivery was good too. Yep, all around high marks. High marks.
Yeah, I'm proud of her on that one.
Oh, Morty. So how are things, man? What's going on?
Well, just before we went live, I was just kind of scrolling on my phone, and I just saw where Dick Buckus passed away today.
Are you serious?
Yeah, dead serious. No pun intended. But now that one kind of shocked me. That's like a legend from our time right there.
Man, yeah, he was in every movie in the world. Not to mention, incredible football player, but
oh God, yeah. So yeah, that one kind of shocked me. I'm a little sad over that one. Wasn't expecting that just before we went live.
No, that's not good at all.
On a side note, did you get to see what Nick and Dustin over at Two Brothers Comics did last night?
I did not. It looked interesting, and I plan to go back and watch it on the rewatch later, but I have not gotten to watch it yet.
So I got to watch it today. I had to kind of bust it up in two parts because I watched, part of it on my lunch. But and if y'all have not seen that, go check out last night's live stream. The live stream was called Collect Your Way, and it's something new that they're going to do. And that was a really fun a really fun stream to watch. It was really good hearing other people's passion about collecting and not just comic books. So, look, you ran Nick off with your dad joke.
Havenites and Shop Talkers. That's right.
Good What's up, Mike?
But no, so tell folks what they did and what made it cool, because it sounded cool to me, but I hadn't got to watch it yet.
So basically, the premise is, I think as of right now, they're going to do this like every other Wednesday. And if you collect something that is kind of unusual, kind of unique to the comic collecting hobby, they want to talk about that stuff. The stuff that not everybody talks about. As far as certain books or, like certain storylines, Nick was even talking about his Lord of the Rings collection, kind of things like that. Dustin was talking about not only some of his books, but like his art collection that he's starting to work on.
Yep.
And honestly, I did like seeing the collectibles that they were showing off. But the cool thing about it was actually hearing the passion for collecting coming from them. To me, that was like the best part of it.
Well, that's the best part of anything, is what people are excited about.
Yep.
And that excitement is contagious, right? You're like, oh man, that's so cool. There you go. Mike Weslowski, they need to have you on, brother. You got art for days.
Yeah, Dustin has gotten into purchasing like original prints or the originals of prints, and he was showing off some of those last night, plus books. And Dustin has some really unique books when it comes to the Mortal Kombat stuff.
Oh yeah, he's probably got some one of a kinds.
Yeah, actually, he definitely has at least one of a kind. And then Nick is a little more. It's without actually seeing Nick's collection, it kind of comes across as he's a little more like me when it comes to being all over the place with what he collects. Like Nick loves Lord of the Rings. Well, I've kind of got my version of that, and that's just Clive Barker
So
novels.
you've got Hellraiser and all that, yeah.
Yeah, I've got the Hellraisers and the Magicas and all that, and Weave World. So it was just cool seeing a nice mix of everything instead of just focusing solely on books. Definitely worth checking out if when y'all get a chance to check that one out.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. That's awesome. That's awesome. So, how did it go with Corbin last week?
So I had a lot of fun with Corbin. I love Corbin to death.
Great dude, isn't he?
Oh God, he is so laid back and so much fun to talk to. We didn't stay on long. I think we only went for maybe just a little over an hour last week. But I mean, it was also getting close to kids' bedtime and all that. I didn't want to keep him from that, and let him go spend some time with the family and all that good stuff. But no, I mean, have you not watched last week yet?
I have. That's why I just wanted to get it from your behind the scenes take.
My behind the scenes take,
and then I'll tell you what he said.
Oh, it's gonna be bad. No, I like talking to Corbin because Corbin, in a lot of ways, is like Nick and like myself. He's kind of all over the place with his taste. And I love that because one second we're talking about art, the next we're talking about Disney, and the next we're talking about Daredevil. And I love conversations like that.
I say you just hit the three top things that are my favorites to talk with Corbin about. And when he's doing his Inktober thing every year, where he goes through and he's doing the different Disney characters and stuff, I love that. Yeah, he was on the show last week. I couldn't be on, so it was the Corbin and Allen show. A lot of fun. You can go back and rewatch it. It's still out there. But yeah, he's doing his Inktober thing this year as all Disney villains and Disney antagonists. Anyway, I don't know that I would call the giant squid from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea a villain.
God, they're beautiful.
They're in his house, and he's just like, that looks crunchy and edible. I'm going to go and eat that. But yeah, I called dibs on that one, dude. That one's mine.
I don't blame you.
That one's mine. And I also call dibs on any of the Robin Hood cartoon characters that he does.
Well, we were looking at the list as soon as it posted, and I was like,
I'm mad I missed out on the Hatbox Ghost.
I was trying to get the hat. I think I ended up with like second dibs on Hatbox Ghost.
I was
maybe
fourth.
Third. And then it was like, okay, what about Headless Horseman? Never mind, Headless Horseman's gone. Hades. So we're getting Hades. We're definitely getting that one. Which looking forward to that one.
Speaking of which, the short you did with the new Headless Horseman board game, loved that. That was awesome.
Was that song not great?
Well, I mean, it was the perfect song for it. I'm surprised you were able to find it, but well done. And I gotta say, those Trick or Treat covers that DC is doing this year are fantastic.
Those Trick or Treat covers, I don't know why. Maybe I do know why. They kind of remind me of Norman Rockwell.
Yep.
It's like Norman Rockwell meets superheroes meets Halloween.
Yep, it's a little bit of kicks you right in the nostalgia, doesn't it?
Yep. Oh, one thing that I did tell Corbin, I can't remember if we talked about it on a live stream or if it was something that I think it was something we were DMing back and forth about. On the Peanuts, Linus was the one that played the piano, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Schroeder.
Was it Schroeder? Okay.
Oh, no,
Linus had the blanket.
Yes, Linus had the blanket. I ran across a GIF and it was him in a Michael Myers mask playing the Halloween theme song on the piano. And as it's panning out, you see Lucy laying across the piano bed. And it's so bad, but I could not stop laughing at it. So
that's fantastic.
I sent it to Corbin, and I was like, we need a Halloween-themed Peanuts print.
Yep.
Charlie Brown.
With the Great Pumpkin? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or make Charlie Brown Pumpkinhead. Or no, you could make Pigpen Pumpkinhead, since Pumpkinhead was kind of dirty.
Yeah, you got the Great Pumpkin. You could have Snoopy as the Red Baron.
Yep.
Flying around.
No, I was thinking more along the lines of making the Peanuts horror movie characters. Because they already had the Schroeder sitting there as Michael Myers playing the music.
It's true. That's true.
I think Snoopy should be Jason.
Snoopy should be Jason? No, yeah. Snoopy would have to be Cujo.
Cujo, yeah. Have to be Cujo.
You don't know nothing about Cujo. We need to educate you on that one.
No, but I'm wearing a shirt right now that has a dog dressed up as Freddy. Not Freddy Krueger. Jason.
You could have why did his name escape me? The little bird.
Woodstock.
Yeah, you could have Woodstock with like 498,000 of his pals doing Hitchcock movie.
Yeah, that's a good one. Didn't think about that.
I dig it. I like this plan.
Yeah, I think it should be done.
I think so too. I think it's a good plan. So, what comics you got to talk about this week, bro?
Oh, okay. For those of y'all that have been watching the pull list, y'all know that I've been complaining because I've been having some light weeks back to back to back.
Well,
not anymore.
That ended. Yeah.
Daddy is back. And I've got a comic book in here that I don't think anyone else in the world has. Or at least this particular version of it. We'll get to that one in a minute.
Uh-oh, now I'm curious.
I'm pretty sure you're going to know exactly what it is the second you see it. So, but as far as books are concerned, let's jump right into what I thought was the big one last week, and that is The Flash, issue number 1, Dawn of DC. There's a lot to unpack in this story.
Oh my goodness, so much.
This is one of those, there is definitely some meat on the bone. It's going to take a while to tell this story, and I am all here for it. I mean, I don't know what
I've never been a big fan of the Flash. Just like I Run Fast is not like a super interesting thing to me. But and I always thought the Speed Force was kind of hokey and weird, if I'm honest. But when I heard what they were doing with this book, what Cy Spurrier was doing, and the minute that they had Mike Deodato Jr. on art, I could not resist. I said, okay, the Flash going in the direction of cosmic horror. Yeah, I'm on board with that. And Mike Deodato Jr.'s art is spectacular.
Yes, the art from the first page to the last page is beautiful in this. I mean, just great art. The one thing that kind of got me a little bit tickled, I thought was funny, was the kids getting ready for school.
Oh, yeah.
And how she's complaining about her brother is basically drafting her and using the wind vortex off of her. I thought that was great. This is kind of a hard book to explain in the simple fact of there's so much going on in it. But the nutshell version is Wally is it seems like he's just a little bit disconnected from the Speed Force. There's something's
going on.
Yeah, there's something going on. And he's really and truly not telling anyone. Mr. Terrific's, he's working for, was it Terrific Corps or whatever?
Right.
is basically working on some stuff, and it does kind of come across that he's working against Wally in the background.
Really does, and that doesn't seem like Mr. Terrific at all.
But is it one of those that he's not telling Wally about it because it's going to be for Wally's own good? You know, is it kind of one of those situations?
Well, Mr. Terrific's a little bit like Mr. Fantastic in that they both think they know better for everybody else.
Exactly.
So yeah, I kind of get that impression a little bit.
Yeah, the big thing about this book is the two big things. One, they're heading in a new direction.
So different.
Yeah, it's going to be radically different than from anything that we've seen from the Flash before. And two, this is going to be it's going to take a while to unpack this story. And this was, to me, not on the level as Wonder Woman #1, but it had the same feel as this is a big book feel. I feel like I'm starting an epic journey with this book. And I felt that way with both those, with Wonder Woman 1 and this one.
I got similar vibes off this book that I got off of Immortal Hulk #1.
Yeah.
Like, it's just going in such a different direction than what you expected. And it's dark. That first issue is the first time they introduce a character. I don't know if that's the right word. A character, a species called the Coiled, I think.
Yep. Was it the coiled or the uncoiled?
The Uncoiled, maybe.
Yeah.
And then there's a first appearance of another similar species kind of a thing in the next issue that they describe as these creatures that exist like with godlike powers, kind of that exist outside of time and space. Feels very Cthulhian. Who in general are just amused by we strange creatures that are bound by time and space. And then they see this one zipping around outside of it, Flash, and they think, well, isn't that weird and cute? We should study that. So it's just this really interesting take on what's happening. But yeah, it's the Flash veering into cosmic horror territory instead of like, hey, I fight Captain Boomerang and Captain Cold. Yay for me. I'm all about this. I'm so excited.
See, I would be like that if I had omnipotent powers. Ooh, check that out. Let me just go see what's going on with this cute little thing over here.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's like they've done studies of elephants. This is a real thing. And elephants, the part of their brain that gets engaged when they see humans generally is the same part of our brain that gets engaged when we see like a cat or a dog. They're like, oh, isn't that cute? Elephants look at us and think, oh, aren't they cute? Those weird little hairless monkeys, aren't they adorable?
Oh, she said baby elephants are so cute.
It's true.
Next up, I had Void Rivals issue 4.
Well, nothing happened in that one.
Yeah, oh, absolutely nothing at all.
Not a thing. Might as well not even put it out.
So, I want to see if you feel the same way. When I read Void Rivals, it's something about this book that it's fun. And it kind of just makes me happy to read it.
Well, it feels like you're right smack in the middle of 1984.
Yeah, exactly. But the weird thing is, with what's going on, there's really nothing fun and happy about this story as of right now.
Oh, no, not at all.
But it's just kind of weird the way I feel reading this book. This is just a fun book to read.
And part of it, I think, is you're constantly on the lookout for Easter eggs.
Yeah.
And you're constantly getting them.
Yeah, I was not, for those of you that have not read it yet, I'm not going to spoil it, and I can't remember his name anyway, but I was not
But he's big and purple.
Yeah, but he's big and purple. I was not expecting to turn the page in the middle of the story and boom, he's standing there. Boom.
No, that was a little bit of a surprise, I have to say.
Yeah, we have the little, what's happening for him to be standing there. Then we turn the page and he's gone again. I was not expecting that at all. I take it that was a bad drink. Oh, Lord. I'm gonna say that the sweet tea sat there for too long.
Just water, but the rinse cycle on the dishwasher does not appear to have worked. So that was
I hate
just like
that.
saying the wrong thing in front of my grandmother when I was a kid.
That was not good at all.
Uh-uh. Nope. That was. Mm-mm.
But and now y'all keep in mind, I do not go to the store except for on Fridays. That is my designated time to go to the store. I have unless it's a special occasion, I have a very specific reason why I go on Fridays, and I'm just keeping that tradition.
I can't get the taste of dawn out of my mouth.
Get the taste of dawn. I had that happen one time with a coffee cup. I was mad for days.
Oh my God, that's awful.
So I told you all that to say this. I have not read Transformers 1 yet. I know a lot of y'all have. I will be reading it this weekend, but the past couple of issues with Void Rivals, there has been that ending where it's like the kids or whatever fall in. Optimus Prime's body has been laying there. It's, just kind of like a little, this is what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
So from my understanding, and it was something that I read briefly online, that the Transformers story that's going to be going forward is basically a story being told of the Decepticons won the primary war. And it's going to be about the Transformers basically getting back on their feet again, the Autobots. That was from my understanding of it, from what's going to happen moving forward.
Well, the first issue, I wish you had read it. It's so interesting what happens. And I've never been a big Transformers guy. I was G.I. Joe all the way, and Transformers were like, they were okay. They were really big, expensive toys. I wasn't getting those when I was a kid. But when I read this, and the very first thing that happens out of the gate when Transformers get reawakened, wow. Like,
really?
you're not going to see that coming. You're going to flip the page and be like, what just happened? And you're going to have to look at it again to be sure that you saw the right thing. Because yes, that just happened. And that's not the only thing that happens in this book where you're just going, they can't do that. This is the first issue. This isn't the 150th issue, the big climactic battle. You can't do this. But they're doing it. But I tell you, it's all Gen 1 Transformers. It's not a retelling of the continuity. It's kind of starting over, but it's kind of, if you know the continuity, you know exactly what's happening.
Yep.
It's brilliantly done, and the art is spectacular. It's perfect for Transformers. Really, really pleased with this book, and I'm really, really excited about it. It has sold out at the distribution level, by the way, Transformers #1, to the point where they just announced this afternoon that they are going to be coming out with 5 variant covers for a second printing of #1.
Oh, wow.
#1 second print has 5 covers. It's ridiculous. But Transformers #1 is really, really good. That is a legit story. And if you are a fan at all of the Transformers, you are going to want to pick that up.
Now, I know a lot of people were saying that it was going to be the biggest book of the year. So at a retailer level, do you feel like it's the biggest book of the year so far?
No. And that's partially just the makeup of our store, right?
Yeah.
Different stores have different demographics and things. I think G.I. Joe #301 is going to do better at our store. Like at all stores, no. I think Transformers probably much bigger and better selling across the general demographic of comics readers. But at Haven, I think G.I. Joe 301 is going to sell better.
Well, Haven is where G.I. Joe fans go.
Boom. You couldn't have said it better if you tried. That's
And
the place
look,
to be.
So before anybody gets upset and anybody's got to go to the Twitters and starts voicing their opinion and start sending Nick Ellis hate mail, which is what I want y'all to do. Y'all need to, at twobros.com, y'all need to understand, I am a Haven customer. I am a patron just like y'all, so I can make those comments.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, that's G.I. Joe 301. I'm really excited about. But Transformers #1, uh, it had a little bit of an uphill battle with me, kind of like the Flash. I've never been a big fan of the Flash, but what they're doing with it has got me excited, man. I'm reading Flash, Wonder Woman, and Transformers, which is 3 books I would have probably laughed in your face if you told me I was going to not just read them, but be excited about them. And I'm excited about all 3 of them.
See, my thing with the Flash, and it's like I'll go in phases. It's like I'll stick with it for, say, 15, 20, 25 issues, and then it's just like, for whatever reason, okay, I'm done with the Flash. And then I won't read it for several years. And then I'll just all of a sudden pick up somewhere and start reading it again.
I think that's because they kind of just seem to cycle through the same stories over and over. Because, again, there's only so many stories you can tell with, hey, I'm fast.
Yeah, and especially with the new 52, it seemed like we were introducing a new speedster every issue.
Oh, my goodness, yes. That was like Spider-Man at DC.
Yeah. When ultimately all we were, and I like the new 52, so y'all don't get me wrong. I might be in the minority on that, but I did like new 52. The thing about it, though, was on the Flash comic, ultimately, all I wanted was to see Flash versus Godspeed. I did not want to see the school teaching all the little flashes and impulses and quick kid and kid whatever. I didn't care about that stuff. I just wanted to see Flash versus Godspeed, and I was thoroughly, happy with that story between those two. It was just everything that I had to put up with in between that story.
Yeah, I think it's telling that Marvel has never successfully done a speedster solo book for any length of time, right? The Quicksilver, does he get his own series? No. It's always Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, right? Speed Demon, minor villain. I mean, they don't, there's not, I think it's a difficult shtick to have as your main thing and to tell good stories consistently. So I know I'm definitely not in the majority when I say all that. It's just never been my thing.
Yeah.
One of my best friends in the world, Damon Hawk, is a huge Flash fan, and Wally West forever. He loves Wally West, and he would tell me all the reasons why what I just said was wrong, and I would 100% believe him. I think it just boils down to a taste thing, and the Flash is just not my thing.
Yeah, like I said, it comes and goes in phases with me, but with this new story, I definitely want to know which direction they're taking it in.
And even if the story's terrible, the art is superlative.
Oh God, yes, the art is beautiful in it. So next up in my massive pile was Wildcats issue number 11.
Yep, one more to
go. One more to go, and sorry, if you're not reading Wildcats,
you're probably not.
Yeah, and you're probably not. I might be the only person signed up for it.
There's 3 of us.
We're so far down this rabbit hole, it's kind of hard to describe what's going on now. We do get the grifter and zealot scene that we've been wanting for a long time. We knew that it was going to happen. We knew way back in the 90s it was going to happen. It just took us, 30 something years to get there. So we do get that scene, and I thought it was tastefully done. I like the way that it played out.
I like the way they used his mask.
Yep. Harlow, though, I love the way Harlow decides how to hide out. Hiding out in a pool in a mansion is great. Mike, it gets better with each issue.
Yeah, it hit a slow point in the middle for sure.
Yeah, the one big thing about it though is this is it feels like Wildcats from the 90s. It just kind of feels that way to me. I'm not going to, there's not a ton of folks reading this one, so I'm not going to go into it. I will tell y'all this. If you just want a good action-packed read, as soon as the trade comes out, buy the trade. Just buy the trade and read it all in one big massive binge read, and you'll be happy you did it. It's just a fun read. Grifter is Grifter through and through. One of my favorite aspects of it is we might just have Backlash randomly walk into a room and you don't even know why he's in the scene. He makes one comment and his part's done in the panel and it's gone. I love seeing Backlash just randomly show up. There you go. Next up, and this one was actually really hard for me to get into, and you're going to understand why. But this is Detective Comics issue 1074. I have thoroughly enjoyed what Ram V has done with Detective Comics, but the reason why it was hard for me to get into it, we had such a layoff with Night Terrors.
Yep.
That I was a little confused as to what was going on in this book. And I actually need to go back and read the issue before it to kind of remind myself of why we are where we are. And then the main story is only about half the book, and then we have a secondary story that, and I cover this, and it's the exact same thing that I'm going to say on the pull list tomorrow. So if you watch the pull list, I'm sorry, you're going to hear this twice. I don't know what was going on in that second story. Some 10-eyed thing, man, mutant, basically killed Pete from Pete's Pizza or was going to let Pete live. I don't know. I quit reading halfway through it. It was so bizarre. It made no sense to me whatsoever. And don't think I'm trashing the book, because the Detective Comics story was really good. Detective Fielding, or Inspector Fielding, whatever you want to call him, he definitely has an aha moment at the end of the detective story. We're just going to have to wait till next issue if that aha moment truly is Bruce Wayne is Batman, Batman is Bruce Wayne.
I kind of think it is.
I think it is too.
Figured it out.
Yeah, because he put the pieces he was putting the pieces together at the end of it.
Yeah,
and
he's
then
clearly a smart dude.
Yeah, his face in that last panel, you're just like, holy crap, I think he figured it out. I did not see this coming, and this issue was extremely bittersweet for me, but Death Dealer 15, Death Dealer has officially come to an end with issue 15. They do wrap the story up nice and neat. If you are a fan of sword and sorcery, I'm about 95% sure there are trades of this. If you're a fan of a sword and sorcery and you don't mind a little more adult-oriented story, Death Dealer is one of my must-reads for 2023. This was just a great story, issue 1 through 15. There was never a bad issue. Kerr, who is actually the man who wears the Death Dealer helmet, I'm just going to go ahead and spoil it for y'all. He does sacrifice himself in this book to get Mesh, the dreaming god, back to the heavens. Did you see her back behind me?
Yeah, I love Bug.
Yeah. Yeah, she already knew that because she's the one that films the pull list. But in order for him to sacrifice himself like that in this bizarre way, he kind of wills his body, so to speak, to Death Dealer. And once the helmet goes back on, Kerr is no more. Kerr is dead. We can only assume that he's in heaven with the dreaming god. And Kerr finishes the battle. Death Dealer finishes the battle. This was a great story through and through. I know a lot of people tend to shy away from independent comics because for whatever reason, they think that they're not going to be as good, or they think that they're going to be overly graphic. Was this a graphic book? Yes, there were some graphic scenes, but there was also some more tasteful scenes. There was really and truly only one scene that you're just kind of like, yeah, I don't really see a point in why that happened, but so be it. There was no shock value for me. But all in all, y'all need to, I mean, just pick up Death Dealer. This was just a great book. The thing about the way that it ended, though, is it definitely ended to where Death Dealer will pick back up with the next storyline, which is going to be Death Dealer 2099. I kind of wish they didn't do that. I really wish they would have stuck with this, but we'll just have to wait and see on that one. Next up, I know you've really enjoyed it, and I have not enjoyed it, but I did pick up issue 4 just so I could finish the reviews, and that was Ultimate Invasion issue number 4.
Yep.
Here's my thing on it. Jonathan Hickman did a good job. It was a good story. It was just not my particular cup of tea. I really, 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 really wish that Marvel would not waste their time with stuff like this. I wish that they would take the time and the team that put this together and go fix their existing titles like X-Men and Spider-Man.
Yeah, agreed.
No pun intended. Ultimately, there's nothing wrong with this book. It just really didn't do anything for me. I don't plan on reading the Ultimate Universe, however they're going to do it. But the ending of it, I think the ending of this book was the coolest thing.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Stark does go on to become Iron Lad, and he does go after the original Captain America, or at least their version of Captain America in this universe. Like I said, though, I wish they would just invest the time and the effort into fixing their current titles. That's kind of where I am on the Ultimate Invasion stuff. For
me, the whole Ultimate Invasion story was really it was a lot of setup at the beginning, followed by a really scenic route with lots of like, ooh, look at this world's version of that character. Ooh, look at this world's version of that character. Just so you could see them and check them off your list. And then it was like, oh, and here's the story wrap up. Boom. And I could have done more with the focus on the story and let me learn about the characters in a more organic way. Personally, but I did enjoy it. I like what it set up. I think it's going to be interesting. But I was a sucker for the original Ultimate Universe when that came out 20-something years ago. So, no, I'm okay to see it back.
What you want, girl?
The end was the best part because it was over.
Yeah, the end is the best part because it was over. Oh, Lord. All right. You know, if you was younger, I would actually make you leave the room for this next comic book, but you're older now, so you can stay. And that is The Ribbon Queen, issue 3.
Oh, geez, Louise.
Do what?
Said, oh, geez, Louise.
Have you read it?
Yeah.
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 So this is and since we've both read it, this is what it kind of leads me to believe. The detective is going to be the new host for the Ribbon Queen. I mean,
that's what I'm thinking too. Yeah.
Because whatever the Ribbon Queen is going after people protecting her, but it's got this girl's dead body that it's dragging along for the fun of it. I don't
like you do.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Everybody needs a zombie pet, I guess. This has been so good, though.
It is a bizarre book. That would be a really good October read right there, because it's a horror book.
What gets me about this book, though, is yes, it's a horror book, and you definitely got the horror feel. You've definitely got the supernatural feel. But underneath all that, this is an outstanding cop book on top of that.
Oh, it is that. Yeah, it's a good police procedural kind of mystery. Yeah, I agree.
It's really weird how Garth Ennis blended the two genres. And
I would not normally say that's a Garth Ennis skill set either. Like Garth Ennis is an interesting writer, and my favorite things that he writes are like war books, and that can be
Yeah.
Civil War, it can be World War II, it can be Vietnam, whatever. He writes a war book that's incredible. You start veering off into some other stuff, and it's like he's just exploring how weird he can get. And this one, while it's certainly a weird premise and it's a weird thing that's going on, he has that underpinning of realism that he puts into his war books.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just not war; it's the detective, right? Uh, and I just find it really fascinating. And you're right; it's one of the better things I think he's done. It feels like
Yeah.
it means a lot to him,
Um.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that, and yeah, this is probably the only way that I can really and truly describe it. It almost comes across as this book was definitely a labor of love for him.
Mm-hmm.
This was, yes, it is bizarre, some of the stuff that's going on in it, and how, let's say, to get past the YouTube censors, let's say the level of revenge, how that's going about and how that's happening to the people that's happening to. Yeah, that does get a little bit out there and stuff. But like I said, you still got this really, really, really good, gritty cop drama going on in the background. And I've thoroughly enjoyed that. And to give y'all a little bit of an idea, that is her actually sitting on her slab in the morgue.
Oh yeah,
And I mean, for those of you that aren't reading it, yeah, this is not a. This could be a lot more graphic than what it is. It could be a
yes.
lot darker than what it is. Garth Ennis has done an amazing job at writing that line without going over the edge one way or the other. Because if you read it, you'll understand it would be extremely easy for him just to push completely and totally off the edge and go, just insane with the graphic horror, but he
I
doesn't.
keep waiting for it to happen, and it hasn't yet.
And I think that element of suspense is what has made this so good for me.
Well, yeah, that bit of self-editing and self-control to hold it back and keep the story in that right on the edge of that knife
Yep.
has made it really fascinating, and it adds to the tension while making it more readable. It's really interesting. I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, just a fantastic job with it. So Ribbon Queen. Oh, and hey, as it won't be any shocker to anybody that watches this show, it's another AWA book.
Remarkable. When are we
They're
going to
too
have
good.
them come on the show and talk to us, man?
They are too good. They really are. I want them on the show so bad.
I do too. I want to talk about this stuff with some of these people.
I tell you what, I would love to have Panosian on the show. Even though he's done with Black Tape, I still want to talk
He's
about
not
Black
done with
Tape.
Black Tape. You know there's going to be a Black CD. Or a black laser disc. You know it's coming.
And if they don't name it Black CD, there is literally going to be, that's a missed opportunity right there. Oh Lord.
I mean, you can't open up a reveal of a character like that at the 4th issue of a 4-issue book, and then go, well, that's all you get to learn about that guy. No, unacceptable.
Yeah, I think what gets me the most about Black Tape is you're going, and then at the very last issue, you're like, well, crap, I just sat here and rooted for the devil for 4 issues, and I'm glad he won.
Yes. Right?
So well done. But that's a conversation we're going to have with Panosian sometime. Next up on my list is Dawn of DC, Green Arrow, issue number 4.
I know you've been waiting on that.
I have been waiting on this. This is one of the books that it made me mad that we had to go on that, month and a half hiatus or whatever it was.
2 months. 2 solid months.
This right here, like I've said it 1,000 times, I've never been that big of a Green Arrow fan. But the way Williamson has done this story has been great. I mean, we're getting closer to Oliver being reunited with his family, but in this particular issue, we find out, as you can see, and I'm going to say his name wrong, Parallax.
Parallax.
Let me there you go. He does return, and Parallax is Hal Jordan, basically possessed.
It's Parallax.
Parallax, basically possessed.
Parallax is something entirely different. It makes things come out smoother on the other end.
Easy.
Try Parallax.
Try Parallax. You know what? I don't think that'd be a bad T-shirt. But Ollie does talk him into a fist fight. Basically, no powers, no nothing. If Ollie wins, he gets reunited with his family. Blah blah blah. It's another good issue. It's only going to be a 6-issue miniseries.
Yep.
I don't know how well these are selling. I don't think any of them have sold out anywhere. So they're still easy to get, probably still easy to order. This has just been a fun read. This is going to be a 6-issue miniseries that I promise y'all, if you buy it and you read it, you will not be disappointed. If you like DC Comics, I think that this is a good, solid read. I've enjoyed this a lot more than what I thought I would. And then
I wanted to read that, but we sold out of the first issue at the shop, and I didn't get a chance. So I'm going to have to wait for the trade.
Yeah, and plus on top of that, it's 6 issues, so it's not like you're about to invest the next 10 years of your life, you know?
Right.
6 issues, you're done. We're more than likely
25 years of your life if it's Battle Chasers.
Oh yeah, good point.
Sorry, Joe Mad.
Next up, and I believe this is the Halloween special from them. And this is Tales from the Cave by Mad Cave Studios.
Yes.
So
I know the story you were really looking forward to was the Nottingham story.
Yes. Okay. So the Hunt, Kill, Repeat story. I'm going to start with that one. That one was kind of like it should have been an interlude during Hunt, Kill, Repeat.
Agreed.
So reading it now, after we already know what happens in Hunt, Kill, Repeat, it was almost anticlimactic. It was still a good story because I like that universe that was created with that. Battle Cats, I have never read Battle Cats because I've been wanting to get the trades. I just never have. So I thought that was kind of neat. Nottingham, though. The Nottingham story in here was once again pure perfection. Here comes your spoiler alert. If you don't want to
picking up that book just for the Nottingham story.
Yes, just for the Nottingham story alone.
Also, that cover is awesome.
Yeah, well worth the price of admission. This cover and the Nottingham story. The Nottingham story is a one-shot. It is one and done. Could they revisit that particular character again one day? I think so. Maybe in some type of flashbacks or somebody telling of a story. But I thought the witch was absolutely great. I mean, for that character to have that small of a part, but still be the center of the story, I thought was great. I mean, just perfectly written. And honestly, I think the Nottingham story in here is a really good Halloween story, period.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, this was really good. Like I said, I enjoyed all 3 stories, but the Nottingham one, if you're a Nottingham fan, you've got to pick that book up. And
if you're not a Nottingham fan, the only reason is because you haven't read it yet.
Exactly. I got 2 more left, and then I've got my one-of-a-kind comic. Next up, we have Moon Knight, City of the Dead, issue 3. And yes,
we found out a little bit about Damascus.
We found out a little bit about Damascus.
That was an interesting twist, because issue 2 ended with that twist, right? Where she leaves and leaves him in the lurch. And then for issue number 3 to give us a little bit of a reveal, but then in such a way that it's another twist, and you're like, Whoa! I did not see that coming, and I loved it.
Yeah,
Loved
and
it.
just like Damascus, you're bait. I mean, it's great. This has been kind of weird for me because we've got McKay on the main title, and then we've got, how do you say his name? Pepose?
Pepos, yeah.
Pepos? They have written two completely and totally different stories that feel like they're intertwined.
Absolutely interchangeable. I would agree with that. Pepos has done a great job.
Yeah, this has been really good. And I don't know why, it just seemed like it was fitting that even in the afterlife, we turn around and Moon Knight is standing there just loaded for bear with every possible thing he could get his hands on. And what was it? Something about you don't mess with the Karnak Cowboys or something like that?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I mean, that was just great. And he sacrifices himself at the end of it, but this is only issue 3 of a 6-issue series, so we know he's not going to be dead. Yet. But yeah, this is one of those that if you don't want to pick up the individual issues, if you like Moon Knight, I feel like this trade is a must buy.
Especially if you read Moon Knight 25 first, because Moon Knight 25 sets it up beautifully.
Oh God, yes. Now my last actual comic, this book took a lot out of me. I mean, I was like curled up in the fetal position, almost in tears, rocking back and forth. I was ready to call Mark London and just start screaming "why" into the phone.
Oh,
and that
I know
is
what book this is.
Exorcists Never Die, issue number 6.
Or do they?
Oh yeah, or do they? Wow. I mean, beautifully written. If anybody,
I agree. Mark London needs to answer for this. We need to have Steve Orlando and Mark London on the show, and they need to answer for this.
Yeah. So I tell you what, though, I thought it was, for lack of a better way to put it, it was an absolutely beautiful moment when they're fighting pride. They know that they can't do just an average flow. They have to do the Messiah flow. And Sid sacrifices himself for Elle and basically tells her it's the Messiah flow. We both knew there had to be a sacrifice. And basically gives up himself to be the sacrifice for no other reason than the simple fact that he still loves her.
Yep.
I mean, it had nothing to do with being partners. It had nothing to do with the hell scraper and stopping pride and everything else. It was all because he was still in love with her. And then the way that it ended with Elle basically just tightening up her bootstraps and getting ready to dive off into the pit itself. I mean, she was done. I mean, she was going after him. But when she basically called in for last rites for Sid, that was the moment I was like, no, we ain't doing this. We're not doing this.
Yep. That was same for me. That was when I was like, dang it, Steve Orlando, you are such a jerk.
Yeah, it was like, I hate him. I don't like him at all anymore.
You're not supposed to make me cry at a comic book.
Yeah. But yeah, this was just, and so I don't know exactly how they're going to do this. I don't know if this is the 6th issue and we're going to take a couple of months off, then they'll pick back up with Elle going in. At the end of the day, could they bring Sid back? Very easily.
3 days later.
And you know what? Watch the pull list tomorrow. I said the exact same thing on the pull list. And you and I do not talk about what I talk about.
No, not at all.
Before I do it.
I didn't even know what books you had in your stack this week.
Same thing.
But I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? And it would work. It would work. It would work in the story.
This was just a great story. And if you didn't read Exorcist Never Die, you truly, truly, truly missed out.
It's a really interesting world. The magic system is really interesting with the god
Yep.
flow and all that stuff. The whole conceit of the story is cool. It's well worth the read. Absolutely is. And Mad Cave is really good about putting out trades, um, and they're pretty affordable trades at that. So we will have it available up at the shop as soon as it is printed. So yeah, that's going to be a good one, guys.
Yeah, definitely pick this one up. Just a great story. Now for my book that I had. What you want, girl?
The title's false advertisement. We need to sue.
Oh yeah, yeah, good point. We're going to sue for mental anguish on the way they ended that one though.
Are we gonna sue for false advertisement?
But I was not expecting this in my box, and when I saw it, all I could do was sit there and stare at it. And it was like, where did this come from? And my heart melted, and I teared up some. And I think Tom Price got just a skinch jealous. I don't even know what issue. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, the Grinch's heart grew 3 sizes that day. But I found a Gunslinger Spawn 18
Oh yeah.
original by Mark Spears in my box. Dude, that is awesome. I absolutely love it. I was not expecting it. And I am as happy as a fat kid with birthday cake. And I can say stuff like that because I'm a fat kid and I love birthday cake. Is that just not beautiful?
Isn't that wonderful?
That is, dude. I mean, I was not expecting. And then just to color the eyes green and leave the rest of it just, oh my God, just absolutely gorgeous. Yeah.
You still look, and you're still looking at it like you're looking at somebody beautiful. You're like, oh,
Dude, because I was one of those, I was like, I need to see what all's in my box. And I'm looking and I'm like, what is this? Where did this? Oh, I love her.
I know what to put in there. Sometimes you don't even know you need it. And then you get it and you're like, oh, hang on a minute. I still get tickled about clear. When you picked up clear #1, you're like, what is this nonsense in my box?
What got me on clear was when I was looking at that first cover and I could not figure out what that was on his helmet.
Oh, the hands? The handprints?
Yeah, the hands. And it was like, what is, and I literally remember standing there looking at Tom and saying, I guess Josh wants me to read this so we can talk about it on Shop Talk. I'll give it a shot and see what it's about. And then next thing I know, I'm like carrying the banner screaming, it's the mini series of the year and nobody can top it.
It was a phenomenal story.
Yep.
Phenomenal story.
Yeah, Mike, definitely a sweet sketch.
Spawn all over the world.
Uh-huh. Dude, Spears is so talented. And then that was in there with it. And he drew a little, kind of did a Spawn in green on there. Take care of that one. That goes in the casket with me.
I'll put it at the very front.
Yep.
That one goes in the casket with me.
Well, okay. Wait a minute.
Watch is going in the casket.
What all goes in the casket with me, bud?
The Moon Knight #1. That's a 9.2.
Mm-hmm.
This one.
Mm-hmm.
Is the Web of Spider-Man still going in there?
Yes, the Spider-Man is still going in there. It's still on the list.
Then,
the most important one out of all of them.
Oh no.
What?
Give me a hint. Give me a hint.
It's right next to. It's right next to the
G.I. Joe #1.
It's right next to the G.I. Joe #1. The G.I. Joe #1's on that list also. It's literally propped up in a place of honor and glory where it deserves to be, to where when you walk in that room, it's the first thing you see. Go to bed.
There's a lot of things in there.
My Daredevil #8, first appearance of Stiltman.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Yep, I'm with you, Daniel. So, Bug, just make sure that we have that list so that we can make sure that your dad's put to rest right.
I'll make a Google Doc of it.
There you go. I'll make a Google Doc of Dad's casket list. That's
Yep.
what I can see. What'd you do over the summer, kids? Well, I made a Google Doc of my dad's casket list. I feel like we should call a guidance counselor in here to talk to you.
Hey, let me tell you what. If you go before me, just keep a listen because there will be saying, "Hey, there's some fool at the gate carrying comic books with him." Does anybody know this guy?
Oh yeah, it's all good. Those belong here.
They belong here, especially that GI Joe #1. We can't
Yeah,
leave that one behind.
We're gonna take that over here with Larry Hama. It'll all be okay. So guess what we got now?
What we got now?
Previews.
Ooh.
We got some previews.
So, are they really killing him?
I get the impression they are.
Okay, this is what I could see. This is what I would like to see. Yes, we kill off Mark Spector, but we let Hunter's Moon carry the title for a few months because his character is strong enough he could carry the title. And then we see the actual ritual or whatever Khonshu does to bring back Fists. And then Mark comes back in a few months.
Right, after he gets freed from Asgard.
Yep.
Which I can see that being one heck of a cool story.
And, that could actually be Hunter's
Picture
Moon
that story with Hunter's Moon and the Scarlet Scarab.
Mm-hmm.
Me likey. I want to read it. I don't want Mark Spector to be dead, but I want to read that story. So I will suffer Mark Spector being dead to get to that story so I can get Mark Spector back.
Did you read the Moon Knight Annual?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I thought that was brilliant, by the way.
God, that was so good.
That whole chaos of champions or whatever it is, contest of chaos, whatever, I thought was ludicrous and weird. But to pair Moon Knight up against whatever his name is, Arrow or whatever he is, the Asian superhero, which was totally bizarre. And for them to get down to it like, well, we feel compelled to fight over this power, to get this power. And for Moon Knight's response to that to be, okay, you win. I've had that power before. I didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
It does bad things to you. I was like, always unpredictable. That's what I love about Moon Knight.
But I loved that one panel, or it might even been a full page, where it basically showed the Moon Knight or the Mark Spector that killed Khonshu and became the Moon God himself.
Yes.
I want to read that story.
Yeah, I do too.
God, that would be so good.
I do too. What do you think about that?
Let me put it like this. I reserve the right to hate it, but I'm not going to hate on it just yet. I do want to check it out.
Written by Christos Gage, art by Greg Land, cover by Ryan Stegman. If they can tell stories like back in the day, I'm going to be a fan.
Yep.
If they mire it down and all this Krakoa stuff, I'm not. I want to read good stories. I'm desperate to read good X-Men stories. I'm desperate to read good Spider-Man stories. For the love of all things holy Marvel, let me do that without having to jump into my back issue bins.
I mean,
okay, off of my soapbox. Stan, you can have my soapbox back.
To me, some of the best X-Men stories that I ever read personally were X-Factor stories, and it was when the originals were in space.
I loved the X-Factor books back in the
day. Okay. Donald Duck as Wolverine just fits.
Oh, yeah. But look at Goofy.
That is a great cover. And let me guess, it's another Spider-Man book?
Yep.
Got to prop up themselves.
true.
See if it gets better.
Okay.
That's-
Timeless, number 1. Look who that is.
Timeless number 1.
That sure
Okay.
looks like a Moon Knight to me.
It sure does. It. Hmm. Okay, it looks like some type of cross between Moon Knight and Doctor Doom and Iron Man.
This is Power Man and Moon Knight Unending. That's who that is.
Okay.
Power Man and Moon Knight Unending. I'm intrigued. It's a nightmare born of Stark Tech, the Eternal Machine, and the God of the Moon. And now all Earth bows before his overwhelming power. But one man stands against Khonshu's coming tide of chaos, Power Man, Marvel Universe's final living superhero. But who is Power Man, and how did he come to wield the unstable powers of the Sentry,
Okay.
the Hulk, and Iron Fist? This is like some 1960s ludicrous stuff, and I love it. I am so here for this. And then we get this 2-page spread.
Yeah. Oh. Moon Knight Remembered by Greg Capullo. I like that. I mean, that looked good.
I thought you might like that. But yeah, Moon Knight number 30. Moon Knight sure does appear to be dead. And these variant covers, again, we all know my feelings on variant covers. This one of him sinking into the earth, that's cool. I do feel like the One Ring should be like falling onto his finger. But then this one, where he's being devoured.
Pull back just a little bit. For some reason, it's wanting to focus. There we go. That's a little better. Yep.
Yeah.
That's kind of wicked looking.
It is. Like I said, you know how I feel about variant covers. But so then when you turn the page, this is important for you because it's another 2-page spread. You ready for this? Y'all ready for this? Bam, 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 bam.
That's part of the Lego movie.
Oh, that is sweet looking. Long live the. Okay, yeah, that one's.
It's giving mixed signals here.
Yeah, it's like Bug says, they're giving mixed signals now.
That definitely looks like Hunter's Moon to me. Although he's down here, I don't know. And then you have Vengeance of Moon Knight. Look at that.
Wow. So they seem to really be going all in on Moon Knight, and I'm here for it. God, that is beautiful.
Clad in the black of mourning, the midnight mission remains.
So is that that particular one right there? Is that going to be a variant cover?
It's a David Finch cover, which is awesome, but it doesn't say that it's a variant. There is also a foil variant by Alessandro Cappuccio. But he's got these chains with the moon on these chains. I don't know, man. But the use of the moon as the tears.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's Vengeance of the Moon Knight by Jed MacKay. Listen, people. Understand when I say this. Do not sleep on Moon Knight. You need to read this book. Jed MacKay has been absolutely killing it. He has earned my everlasting hope and trust I think he can do this. I think he can kill Moon Knight and not make me mad. That's saying a lot. I'll be honest with you. I doubted Larry Hama when he killed Snake Eyes. I was like, you can't kill Snake Eyes. You cannot do that. He did, and somehow the story was better as a result, and that should not be possible. It was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, going back to what you said, Daniel, absolutely agree. It's just too much. It's too much. They need to start over and make the books accessible to, I don't know, normal humans. But yes, Vengeance of the Moon Knight, that's a must. Oh, dude, you like that Greg Capullo cover? Check this out.
That's a good looking one too. The Finch and the Capullo cover, I need both those.
Yeah, I thought you might. I'm just going to ask about this and get your take. This is John Romita Jr. on this amazing Spider-Man 39 cover. What is going on with Spider-Man's head? Can you see how fat his head is?
Honestly,
It's giving that one dude that walks around with his head in his hands.
Between his head and She-Hulk's face, I don't know where to look.
And why is he taking a baseball bat to She-Hulk's head? What's he doing?
It's a baseball bat.
I mean, She-Hulk looks like an angsty 10-year-old girl in this.
She-Hulk looks constipated.
You got to learn to speak up. It's okay to throw those one-liners and those singers and those smart aleck comments, but you got to speak up.
That is 100% accurate, and that cracks me up. I don't know who did this cover because I can't see their name on it, and the style doesn't instantly jump out at me. But the Daredevil is getting a 4-issue crossover into this gang war story that's going on in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And that is a gorgeous cover.
Yep. That kind of looks a little bit like Kirkham.
It could be Sergio Davila.
Yeah.
Or it could be AKA.
AKA.
Aka, AKA. Yeah, I don't know. Could also be Pablo Villalobos or Lucas Wernick. They don't say whose that cover is, but that cover is gorgeous, and I'm here for it. It makes me happy.
Yeah, whoever did it did a really good job.
Apparently, I'm also here for saying things like I'm here for it today. Just going back to a cover that should show some excitement and things that are interesting, and this cover, I think, fails to deliver that. And that's a terrible pose. It's supposed to be an action pose. She's clearly falling from a height.
Yeah.
And that pose just looks like she's trying to belly flop in the pool.
Yeah, that one.
Am I wrong?
Or honestly, like she's in one of those wind tunnel things that simulate skydiving.
Well, right, but it's not. There's nothing dynamic about this pose.
No.
This is a snooze fest of a pose.
I have not read Spider-Woman in God knows how long.
That's because they can't keep a story going for more than 6 issues. It's really unfortunate.
Really?
Yeah, and they keep doing weird stuff. Like, if we made it weird, maybe more people would like it. I'm like, nope. Nope, not at all. Let's see what else we got new series-wise. I have to admit, I'm intrigued by Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars Battle World 4-issue limited series that is set during Secret Wars in the 80s.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I'm really excited about that. Let's see. So far, not a whole lot of other new books. Let's see if we got any more. You read Predator Wolverine #1, right?
Awesome book.
Was that not so perfect. It couldn't have been better for me.
The fact that Wolverine's telling the story during the middle of a hunt and he goes back to the 1900s when the first hunt happened, that right there is really good storytelling.
Spider-Gwen, Smash, number 1 of 4.
Okay,
See, that's a dynamic pose. That has some action to it.
Yep.
This is not real action-oriented, but it's a real kind of cheesecake sort of thing. You would see that on the side of a B2 or a B-27 in World War II.
That reminds me of Adam Hughes covers.
Very much so, yeah.
Yep. So
Spider-Gwen, so
what Smash is supposed to be about, or
the Mary Janes are off on a 4-city tour as the opening act to one of Earth 65's biggest rock bands. Gwen has promised the band that this big break will be all about the music, no web slinging, just drums. But when a mysterious assassin targets the headliner, Gwen begins to wonder how she got this gig in the first place. Featuring new versions of some of your favorite characters.
Okay, so before you go to another book, let's get the Bug's opinion. Based off of what you just heard, is that something that, not you, but is that something that, say, someone like Cam or one of your friends at school, would there be enough there to make them say, I wouldn't mind checking that out? Because you're a different type of girl because you're a collector. What about like new female collectors? Would there be enough in something like that? Mm-hmm. Look, if you're going to run with the big boys, you got to be prepared to get questioned too. All right.
That's exactly right. And it's just your opinion. What do you think? Do you think they'd be interested in that or no?
I don't think so.
See, now the hard part. Why not?
I don't know. They're just like not really into that stuff. They'd rather talk about boys.
What would be
boys are gross. You stay away from them.
Oh no, the only men that are allowed in her life are the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Isn't that like only God?
Yeah. We need to give Josh a minute. Breathe. Breathe. Breathe.
Oh, that caught me just right. Oh. Oh, that was pretty good. I'm really wishing I had some water now that didn't taste like dish soap. Oh my Lord. All right. We got twofer on this page. Century number 1. And Thunderbolts number 1. Century number 1. The Century is dead. But somebody survives long enough to get the powers of the Century. So there's a new one.
I have told her that before, and she does not want to do it. I want her to do her, because she reads like Scarlet Witch, and I want her to
Which
do
is
her
so
own,
good.
I want her to do her own review of Scarlet Witch. If she would just sit down and do me one review video of nothing but Scarlet Witch, she would get her own video and just kind of go, because she actually did that once before with Fiona McCool.
She did, and it was awesome.
Yeah, and people loved that.
It was great. Are you kidding me? Stephen and Lily Butler loved that.
Weird.
They loved that. That meant the world to them.
Mm-hmm. Look, she's sitting over here getting embarrassed just thinking about it.
What's to get embarrassed about? We do this every single week.
What gets me is, okay, so you understand the pain I'm going through. Believe it or not, she collects. She has her own collection in her room. She's got a couple of small boxes full. Not only that, like when I get finished reading Fantastic Four, she takes off with it in a heartbeat. I would love to be able to sit down and get her to do her own review video of Scarlet Witch and Fantastic Four. A review for kids by a kid. I think that would go over really well. But she won't do it. But the weird thing is, she'll sit here on the live stream and talk with us. Bless her heart. But we're going to get her there.
Did you know something funny that's not comic related?
What's that?
So the other day at school, there's this 6th grader. She was wearing a shirt that had Zach Bryan's mugshot on it. It was really funny.
All right, so what we got next?
Well, we already saw the ad for it, Original X-Men #1. Listen to this and see if this gets your attention. All right, Cyclops, Marvel Girl, Beast, Iceman, and Angel, the first and greatest heroes to wear the X-Men name, once traveled into their futures to reset the course of history. Now another multiversal mystery calls them forth. When the dust settles, one hero will remain trapped in the world as we know it. With shocking surprise guests and heart-pounding twists and turns, Christos Gage and Greg Land kick off a story that will shake the whole Marvel universe.
Well, if someone tells me it's going to shake the entire Marvel universe, I'm not going to be very excited for it because they could be lying.
You have a point. My thing on that is, how many times have they told us they're going to shake the whole Marvel universe, and like she said, they're lying because it fell flat?
A lot. A lot.
I mean, I'm going to give it a shot because I'm like you. I want to read a good X-Men book. I'm never going to be able to read a good X-Men book if I don't at least try. So they've done their part. They've given me a new title. They've given me what sounds like a new story. So I'm going to give it a shot. Just, they better pray to God it doesn't turn into another Alpha Flight.
Yep, that is heartily to be wished. Here's a favorite for me. Tell me what you think about this. You see this page here? You see the headline there?
Yep.
This big old list of all these things in blue. That's stuff we have to order with the information you see on this page.
That's not enough to go on. Is that for that Gang Wars?
Nope. Please note the early solicit checklist for comics titles on sale the first and second weeks of January is due to the weeks when FOC falls in the catalog's range. So they forgot that there's a holiday, and then there's other holidays, and then a new year, and they have to put books out. So instead of, I don't know, arranging the publishing schedule so that it makes sense, they go through and give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34 titles that I have to order blind, including Fall of the House of X #1, Return to Planet of the Apes #1, Spider-Man 2099 Beware Miguel O'Hara #1, Star Wars Visions Takashi Okazaki #1.
Is that based off the anime that they did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Giant Size Fantastic Four #1, Rise of the Powers of X #1, Ultimate Spider-Man #1. Ultimate Spider-Man #1. I have to order with that much information. I don't even know if it's Peter Parker or Miles Morales or who. That's the information I got.
I think
this is called poor planning, Marvel. You are a publisher. You have the ability to look at calendars months in advance. And if you can publish this list, then you better have enough information to give me about those books if you want me to order on them.
Yep. See, out of that list that you just read off, I think that there's 2 books that are relatively easy to order. One of them's the Fantastic Four. Is that
You
one
mean the
written by
giant
Ryan?
size Fantastic Four?
Yeah. Is that one written by Ryan North?
You know everything I know.
Oh wow. I think that one will be relatively easy to order, and so would the Planet of the Apes. And the reason why I say Planet of the Apes is because that's going to be a very niche comic, and you already know the people that are going to want to read that one.
In theory, although for Planet of the Apes we had more people than I expected.
Really?
Yeah. But I look at this and I go, giant size Fantastic Four #1. Is that the first of a series? Is it just a one shot? Who's writing it? Who's doing the art? Because if it's not Ryan North and it's not this Fantastic Four, I could have just ordered copies for all my subscribers for Fantastic Four, and they're going to look at it and go, no, thank you. That's just BS. Not retailer approved, Marvel. This will be of interest to you. Collected in the omnibus treatment for the first time ever. Here you go.
And okay.
There's a Micronauts omnibus now.
For that giant size Fantastic Four, nothing's popping up on League of Comic Geeks either.
Yeah, they don't have any information because this is all that Marvel has put out.
Yeah.
Just absolutely ridiculous.
When is that supposed to come out? One of those books do?
First or second week of January.
So 2024. All right. So Mar says Marvel revives giant size comics for 50th anniversary. I'm kind of scrolling through. Okay, it looks like they're facsimiles.
That would be really good to know.
Well, I'm
certainly not going to order a facsimile for all my Fantastic Four readers.
Yeah, I'm not seeing. It says over 60 giant size comics were published during the title's run. So it's looking like giant size Spider-Man. Says the first one will be on sale January 10th, and that's going to be giant size Spider-Man with writer Cody Ziegler and Stormbreaker's artist Ibon Cello.
Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, cool. But it says right here featuring Miles Morales and Dylan Brock in a one-on-one grudge match.
That's certainly not a facsimile.
Yeah, that's not a facsimile. But that's the only book that it talks about. It doesn't say anything about Fantastic Four.
Now we're over here on DC. What do you think? Kneel before Zod. Zod gets his own series or limited series.
Ongoing or mini?
Let's see if it tells us.
Oh, here it is.
It does not say.
The giant size R1 shots. First up is Miles Morales Spider-Man. There'll be a giant size Superstars, which is a facsimile. And once again, that's all it says.
That's all advertisement again.
But they want me to order giant size Fantastic Four with no more information than that.
Yeah, it's really not telling us really anything.
Mm-mm.
Huh.
I have to say, I'm a big fan of Nightwing. This Nightwing cover is freaking brilliant.
I love what they're doing with Nightwing.
That cover is just brilliant. That's so smart.
Yep. And that goes right along in with the pirate cover, the pirate theme that we're
Oh,
going with.
absolutely.
So, what did you think about that last issue of Nightwing? We hadn't
I
been able to
loved
talk.
it. I loved it. I loved the whole idea. Again, it felt kind of like Silver Age comics.
Yep.
Like, oh, it's Bloodhaven, so there'd be pirates in Bloodhaven. There's always been pirates in Bloodhaven.
Mm-hmm.
And they protect the hold, don't you know?
And
just killed me. I loved it. I thought it was great the way they did it. So good. So very good.
yeah, Nightwing has been great. And I don't know, I just get the sneaking suspicion the quartermaster's not dead.
I kind of hope not. But I mean, I don't really have any emotional attachment to the guy. He's brand new.
Yeah.
But hope not.
I think he could be a great character moving forward, so I'm kind of hoping he's not dead. And if he is, it just kind of set up his daughter, you know?
Oh, really definitely did that.
Yeah.
And I thought it did that really well. I wasn't looking for her to be anybody important, so that did kind of take me by surprise.
Yep.
Look at what the poster that they're looking at.
Okay, that's a little morbid, but okay, so they're looking at the Flying Graysons. That's Dick Grayson. He grows up to be Nightwing, who's right there. But, his parents and everything. So why are they looking at that poster?
Also, look at the top. It's now an ongoing series.
Well, there you go, because you've been reading it.
I'm telling you, it's been good. Have you been reading it, Bug?
Not really.
She's got them. She's got them piled up.
Oh,
It is shockingly good. It has no business being good at all. I mean, it's Scooby-Doo and Batman. It's just like the cartoon when we were kids. It's fantastic. It makes me very happy. That's a fun book, and you should be proud. Read it.
Scooby-Doo and Supernatural crossover shouldn't have been that good, but it was.
Yep, same thing. Well, I mean, we're at the point now, if they do a really good Scooby-Doo crossover, even with mediocre crossover, it's going to be great.
I want to see the Harlem Globetrotters show up.
Yes.
God, that was so good when they were trapped.
That was always the best.
I think they were in an episode of something where they have all those celebrities on it. It's like
You're gonna tell me they were in an episode of something where they had a lot of celebrities on it. Well, that just narrowed it down.
Scooby-Doo. They have that little show that they do with
the Laugh Olympics.
No, the new show that they have. It's Scooby-Doo, and every other episode they have different celebrities. Like one time they had Wanda Sykes.
Oh, I hadn't watched any of the new Scooby-Doo stuff. Nothing will ever beat Scooby-Doo. Where are you?
Scooby-Doo.
What
about that one from the 2000s? That had that really good.
Oh, well, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. That's just like in a class on its own.
Yeah, no, but what's the one that we watched in the cabin in the Smokies where it was like that? It was from the 2000s and it had that really good music. I don't remember what it's called.
You're gonna have to remind me because I don't remember
how the music goes either.
Her mama, my wife, is the Scooby-Doo fan, so we've got Scooby-Doo everything.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Don't be messing that up. That's a big upload. So now she's worried about one particular Scooby-Doo movie.
No, it's like a whole show, and they made a movie about it.
I'm trying to remember what the video game system was back in the early 2000s. There was a really good Scooby-Doo game on it. What'd you say?
Oh, early
Scooby-Doo.
Oh, what's new Scooby-Doo? Oh, gotcha. Early 2000s.
Yeah, late 90s, early 2000s. There was a video game system, a little home console. trying to remember what it was called.
Because
I keep wanting to say Switch, but Switch is the new one.
would have been Sega.
No, it wasn't Sega.
I mean, let's say we had PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2.
It wasn't that. It wasn't Dreamcast. It was a little, I want to say it was red box, maybe?
Wasn't the GameCube, was it?
Maybe it was the GameCube. Yeah, I bet that was it. I bet
The
that was it.
Nintendo GameCube.
Yep.
So
There's a really, really good Scooby-Doo game on that.
Yeah.
Guess who?
Well, we will save our independent books for the new previews for next week. And we might have to save them for the week after because we have a special guest coming on next week. All right. Do we still have? I have to ask. Do we still have Mike Weslowski in the house? Mike Weslowski, are you still with us? Because if you are, you're gonna want to definitely pop in next week. You can pipe in if you want. I don't know what that entails. I don't know how you do it. But you want to pop in next week. We have got an awesome guest coming on next week. Mike's still here. Awesome. In 2020, when all the conventions were getting canceled and postponed and all that stuff, and the expo got postponed, and we still wanted to have some kind of a con experience, we did our at-home heroes convention, which we set up in the space of like 2 weeks. And we had an entire weekend that I did like 18 hours worth of interviews, something crazy like that. We had this massive, we did panels with people. We called them panels, where we would bring guests on the show and we would do all this stuff and talking to these guys. We had Tom Brevoort come on from Marvel. He was on the air. We talked for 2 hours, and just he and I off the air, we talked for another hour. That was awesome. But our very first guest that we had on for that was comic book artist Jeff Johnson. And Jeff Johnson did some great books back in the day. He did Way of the Rat at CrossGen, which was spectacular. We have 3 of his pages hanging on the wall at Haven right now, including one of his Fantastic Four fighting Sentinels from a, what was it? Generation X book annual, I think. And we've got a couple of Way of the Rat pages. Excellent. But he's coming back on next week because he has a new book coming out that is being written by James Robinson. So if you were a fan of Starman, this is that James Robinson. And it's called Rogue's Kingdom. Now, when he was here and he was on the show with us 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago, he told us about Rogue's Kingdom and showed us a couple of sketches from it. And I was hooked then. But now, seeing some more of the art that he's starting to release, I am so hooked on this. I cannot wait to read it. And Jeff is going to be coming on to talk to us about Rogue's Kingdom and whatever else we want to get into on the show. So that will be next Thursday, 7 o'clock. You will not want to miss it because it's going to be, what's the word? Awesome!
I am, what did I do?
Awesome.
What did you do?
I was just looking at this earlier. Ah, there it is. Because he has something a little different. And I'm going to go ahead and share this screen. So everybody, so we can kind of get a sneak peek. And let y'all see exactly what Josh is talking about. So if you go to Instagram, you'll see it's actually, if you put in Jeff Johnson, it's going to kick back Johnsonverse. And this right here is some of the art from Rogue's Kingdom. This is what he's released on Instagram so far.
That gives me serious Way of the Rat vibes right there. And
Yeah.
this landscape, this cityscape, holy smokes, that looks amazing. Tell me that doesn't make your imagination just run amok.
It gets me because the moon actually looks like it's shining.
Yep. That's a good colorist right there.
Yeah.
And thank you for the head there, bug. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, go back to the tiger-headed dude.
Looks like your tattoo.
No, I
Because
like that.
that's not just a tiger. That's a tiger-headed dude that is
There
in this
was
world.
there was something that okay. Here's a different one to show you the kind of the before and after the colors got a hold of it.
Looks like
Ooh, a
Dude, that looks
daytime
good.
look at it.
it looks
Do
That's
what?
cool, but I really like the nighttime shot.
Yeah, the nighttime shot is really cool.
looks like the before and after of those colored by number fans.
He has got a really cool Instagram page that is nothing but art. Look at this Electra.
Sorry, I'm looking at that Hulk.
This one.
Yeah, that Hulk is awesome.
Yep. There was one.
He does a lot. I don't see any of it right here necessarily, but he does a lot where he puts these crazy machine backgrounds that are. There's one. That's a guy from Rogue's Kingdom.
Yeah.
But he does these crazy machine backgrounds that look straight out of Jack Kirby's pencil. He's got the Kirby crackle and these insane machines and things going on in the background. Really, really cool.
So this will kind of give y'all an idea of what we got. I'm not a big Captain Marvel fan, but that's just cool looking.
What are you looking at? Because
Shazam.
Shazam, got it.
Captain Marvel, Shazam.
You can see what I mean though about some of the machinery and stuff. What he's standing on, all the stuff in the background.
Yep.
And then that psychedelic one there on the left, I can't tell who that is because it's so small, but that gives me some serious.
Silver Surfer.
And not that one. That one. Okay, yeah, yeah. I'm getting some real Steranko vibes off of that background. Man, I'm really wishing right now that I had water that wasn't dish soap. That was a bad time, dude.
Oh Lord.
Oh, go down to the thing there. I want to see that. I love when people do a good take on the thing. Ooh, I love that Galactus or that Silver Surfer flying in front of Galactus there.
You want the black and white or the color?
Let's go back to Silver Surfer and Galactus first because that really grabbed me.
Yeah, this was a really good one right here.
Oh man, look at that.
Galactus looks like the dude from Internals.
No.
Is he the dude from Internals?
Well, he could be one of them. And there's the Thing.
I love it. You know, it's funny if you look all of the artists, Jeff Johnson, Aaron Lopresti, all these guys who love to draw the Thing, they always put that cigar in his mouth. And Marvel has made it verboten. He doesn't chew on cigars anymore. You don't ever see him or Wolverine with a cigar anymore, or Nick Fury for that matter.
Yeah.
But all of the old artists always do. They always give him the cigar.
But, you know, I mean, that's how we kind of grew up with him.
It absolutely is. Is that Dr. Fate you just pulled up?
It sure was. Was that not wicked looking?
That was pretty wicked looking, I have to say. But yeah, he will be on the show. The man behind all this gorgeous art is going to be on the show next week. And we can talk to him and ask him questions, get his origin story, find out more about Rogue's Kingdom, which I'm crazy excited for. It's got all the kind of fantasy tropes that I like to see and none of the ones that tick me off so far. So I'm happy about that. Really looking forward to hearing from him on that. So very excited. Do not forget to tune in next week for more Jeff Johnson because it's going to rule.
And then can we talk about who's coming the 19th, or do we need to wait and let that be a surprise also?
Well, I just got a request to reschedule because one of them cannot come on the 19th, so that's going to have to get pushed back a couple of weeks to early November. But let's just say we will announce who it is later, but let's just say that we have another chance, and it might actually happen. I have to say, I have this weird sneaking suspicion that you might get your dream, Alan. You might end up in a comic book yelling at people to get off your lawn it might happen. I wouldn't be surprised to see it happen.
Is it the two people we're talking about, or is it
Yes.
another person? Really?
No, it's the two people we're talking about. I wouldn't be surprised if we're able to talk them into it, because I want to get in there too. I want to be a big hulking barbarian.
Or
I mean,
it really doesn't fit the theme of the book. We could be like sideline reporters.
oh, the Romans are set up in that formation. I don't think that's going to work, Bob.
No,
Bold strategy, Cotton.
I was just thinking, let's see how that works out for them.
Oh my Lord, that's funny. That's ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. Oh my goodness.
Oh, if that does happen, I'll sign books for y'all. Just saying.
You know, I don't know if it's because you've set people up for it, or if it's the two brothers, or who it is, but somebody keeps telling people that I will sign comics if they bring them by the Haven Comics booth when we do shows. And I occasionally
have no idea who's telling people that. I haven't got a dang clue.
I occasionally have people bring me books and ask me to sign them. I'm like, if you want the value of your book to go down, I will be happy to do that for you.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, what got that started was I said that one time. I think it was before the Pop Culture Expo, and I said it toward the end of a video.
Because you were trying to get people to go to the booth.
Yeah, and the only reason why I said it toward the end of the video was I wanted to see if people actually watched toward the end of the video.
Somebody did.
Somebody did. And then it's just like every once in a while I'll sneak in the send all hate mail, and I give out Nick Ellis's email address.
I did that in the most recent Shop Talk video.
Yep.
That is only correct.
Yeah, so I got my things that I sneak in.
Good. So I guess the other thing is we're now, 35 days away from 24 hours at a comic shop?
I believe so. Last I heard, I think we're still on for it.
So are you playing a menu or what?
Is that a motorcycle at your house or something?
Yes, that is a neighbor who is riding a tiny little bun bike up the street, and it does not appear to be doing well heading up the hill.
That come across your microphone perfectly.
Great.
Well, I was thinking if we start, let's say if we start at 6:00 that Friday night, Terry's Pizza, and then Saturday morning, that's when we bust out the grills and the Blackstone, and we do a big old country boy breakfast, and then throw a Boston butt on and let it smoke all day long.
Oh.
And then we have that for dinner to cap off the 24 hours.
See, right here. This is why I love you guys. Menu planning a month in advance. Let's do this. Mm-hmm. Also, I heard zero mention of vegetables.
Oh, no, you're not going to. Or, no, I probably don't need to do that.
What?
I was sitting there thinking, because if everything goes down and sounds like the time that we're actually going to do it, I'm probably going to take off work that Friday, or I'm going to take off work early so I can go home and take me like a good 3 or 4 hour nap.
Yep.
But then I thought, you know what? I could make homemade chili. And we have homemade chili for dinner that Friday night. There's only one small problem.
That's a big problem. That's a big problem.
There's only one bathroom, and we 4 big boys.
I was just thinking about the gas.
Well,
we want people to be able to walk into the store.
Well, here's the thing about it. I'm used to my chili, so it's not going to affect me. And yes, there are vegetables in the chili in the form of jalapenos
And tomatoes.
and
And
tomatoes
beans. And mushrooms.
and some onion.
That's
and
a
some
toxic.
mushrooms.
The jalapeno with the beans and tomatoes. That's a toxic mix.
Yep.
Might as well just bring some chili, some pork and beans, refried beans, and some deviled eggs. Uh,
We're going to have
we'll be great.
potted meat sandwiches
Sloppy Joes.
and mayonnaise.
Sloppy Joes.
All right. Now, Daniel, Mike, we're doing 24 hours at a comic book shop because we're insane.
I wanna do it
So
too.
you guys want to come and hang out? We're going to be doing sales. We haven't determined what they are yet, but we'll be doing a sale from like 2:00 a.m. to 4:00 a.m. and from 4:00 a.m. to 6:00. We're going to do some goofy stuff. What it might be, we don't know. How slap happy are we going to be by that point? Good question. We just don't know the answer to that, but it's going to be fun and it's going to be insane and ludicrous all at the same time. You guys want to come and hang out? Come on. You want to bring a sleeping bag? There's going to be lots of floor space. Knock yourself out. Just don't be the first one to fall asleep. I've been told there's rules about that.
Yeah, and we're gonna do stuff for charity because y'all know how we are. We are nerds, but we're nerds with big hearts. We Dustin and Nick Ellis from Two Brothers Comics, they'll be involved in this. Both of them are hardcore. They want to play D&D.
Yes,
So
they have never played before, and they want to
never
play.
played before, so we're definitely going to have a D&D campaign. I would love it if we had somebody show up for a couple hours and they were the dungeon master, so you could actually play along too. And
I would also like that, and I suspect that I'll be able to organize that. I've been working on that.
I think that would be really fun.
I've been trying to talk Kaylisa into running a game because she is a mean GM. She's awesome.
Cool. And I'm sure that Nick and I are going to be filming. We might even do something a little bit stupid, and I'll be proclaiming how avant-garde it is. We might do a stream of a stream while doing a stream. We've got 2 channels to play with. So,
yeah, that's where you shoot somebody shooting somebody while they're peeing. That's what that is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ew. That's gross.
It's kind of like that one episode of Beavis and Butthead. I want a tattoo of a butt on my butt.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so bad.
It is bad.
That's gross.
I know. That's why our generation rocks, because we had stuff like that.
Hey, my generation's better. I know people. I know people in my grade.
Oh, that's quite a claim there.
Nightmare on Elm Street, and you couldn't at my age. So.
In my defense, the first time I saw Nightmare on Elm Street, I was in 5th grade. And that was the original OG that you still
And also in his defense, it didn't exist before then.
Yeah. I saw it. It was raw.
Yeah. That's a bold statement, Cotton. Yeah. I'm better than your generation. Like, whoa, hold on down there. Hitting my target demographic hard.
Easy. Be careful. Keep in mind, Gen X is the generation everybody else will be hiding from when it hits the fan. Because we're not going after the enemy. We're going after everybody.
We latchkey kids.
We're the last of the feral kids.
That's right. I forget. Somebody said like Gen X kids were 30 when they were 10 years old. And now that they're 50, they're still 30.
Yep.
And that's like, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Yeah, I saw one. It was some guy on Instagram, or it might have been TikTok or something. He was like, in the midst of all this that's going on, how did Gen X get let off the hook? Yes, yeah,
that's exactly right.
Every night at 10 o'clock, commercials would come on. It said,
"Do you know where your kids are?
You know where your kids are at." That's my generation. But that's guy
100% accurate.
Yeah, this guy was talking about how did Gen X get let off the hook so easy, and the comments was what made it so great. One guy commented on there, said, "Please don't start this. My dad is Gen X. He will drag you out of your mama's basement, kick your ass in the middle of the street, come home, make Totino's pizza rolls, and play video games for the rest of the night, not giving an F."
And that is accurate in every detail.
That is literally our entire generation summed up. Just right there.
100% is. And that video game he's going to play is going to be like Double Dragon or Contra or Super Mario Brothers.
Yep.
OG. It's not going to be some super high graphics realistic thing. It's going to be do 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 do.
I played the OG before.
Yep. So don't ever tell me your generation's better than mine.
Sometimes I think I was born in the wrong generation, honestly.
I honestly feel like I was born definitely in the right generation. You know what I think makes our generation so great? Because somehow, some way, we still have this bizarre connection, and we were still heavily influenced by the greatest generation.
That's 100% true. Yeah.
Sometimes I think I'm a person that was reincarnated, and that person was like originally from Gen X.
Might have been. Yeah, she's a little adventurous. She's not. She wouldn't have. You would have survived Gen X.
You are killing me, Daniel. Because you're right too.
Yep.
When you could save it and walk away, you didn't have to have like pure intestinal fortitude anymore.
When
you could just come back and do it later. No, I'm gonna finish this.
When PlayStation 1 come out with that first little save card, blown away. Never seen anything like it.
Yep, I remember that.
Hey, we didn't call it PlayStation 1. We just called it PlayStation.
Yeah, because there wasn't any. Never occurred to us there would be one after that.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't get is how Xbox made a 1 and then a 360.
Well, because that's Microsoft, and you know Daddy's not a fan of Microsoft. Linux all the way. Yeah.
All right, folks. Well, it's time to wrap up. Come back next week for Jeff Johnson. It's going to be awesome. We'll be talking more as we go about 24 hours in a comic shop. Come and join us. It's going to be insanity. You might as well come and hang out catch a piece of it. I'm sure our lawyer will have a nice waiver for you to sign before you get there. As you heard, we're going to have a heck of a menu. Whatever it is, we'll change it up, I'm sure, between now and then. But the basics of it will be awesome food and a lot of it. Just don't have a cardiology appointment planned for the week after because your numbers will not be good. Maybe for a month after. Just saying. But yeah, plan to come out for that. It's going to be fun. We have some more guests lined up who are going to be joining us in the coming weeks, so we're really excited about that. If you're watching with us live, you guys are awesome. We really appreciate it. Always fun interacting with you guys. If you're watching this later, man, we really appreciate you too, because that's awesome, and we certainly appreciate it. We hope that you're getting away with doing this while you should be at work, because this is way more fun. Anything you want to sign off with there, pal?
Read more comics. Go pick up.
Yes.
Go to your local comic book store. Special order the trades for everything that I've mentioned. You will not be disappointed. Pick up all your comics. Read more comics. And y'all argue with me some in the comments on the pull list. I like that stuff.
That's fun too. Arguing's good. Yes, Bug, you have a question.
Do something illegal and don't get caught.
Make good choices.
Our lawyers will disavow that statement. We are not in any way encouraging you to do anything illegal.
That was actually me saying that, guys. I was possessed by a demon.
Oh, that's helpful. I thought you did not buy the Ouija board at the yard sale.
Let me tell you what. I'm still looking. Because
I'm telling you, our house is haunted.
The one thing that you're not supposed to do is buy a yard sale or obtain a hand-me-down Ouija board. And if I can find one before 24 hours at the comic book store, it's on one Mr. Nicholas Ellis.
Get one on eBay. Those are definitely haunted.
Those you can't do eBay. eBay's
eBay, whatever. You never know what you're gonna get.
Nope. All right, everybody. Peace out. Y'all have a great night.